So all we did was talk about how awesome Stefan was, how awesome his books were, and what the lessons we took away from his books. Fast forward a week or two later, and I'm at that talk, and I purposely sit near the front row, again, just trying to make better eye contact, get more on his radar. I go up, give him my book, and he looks at me and goes down to sign, takes a double look, and he's like, you look familiar. He was really quick and blunt and to the point. He was like, can you move to Winnipeg? I was like, sure. He offered me a full-time job and was promising that I'd earn at least 6 figures a year in regards to helping him build his brand. And I was really conflicted. I came really close to saying yes. What is up, YouTube? Matt McKeever here, and I'm really excited to talk to you about today's video subject matter. And so let's just dive right into it. You guys have probably seen I've released a handful of videos recently about Stefan Aarnio, his impact on my life, and I think the loss that we all received by his life coming to an early end. And in today's video, I wanted to just kind of take a look back about my relationship with Stefan and really share with you guys how that all got started, because I think it's a really interesting story. But two, I hope that those of you that are, say, trying to get the attention of an influencer or a guru or a mentor can really take away some practical advice from this that'll hopefully put you in a better position to get that mentorship or get that person's attention. So let's set the stage. Back in 2017, I think it was, Matt McKeever had started his YouTube channel about 6-7 months ago. I maybe had 500 subscribers at the time, but at the same point, there weren't a lot of Canadian real estate investing YouTube channels out there. So believe it or not, I was probably still in the top 5 or 10 Canadian real estate investing YouTube channels at the time. And I was producing a couple of videos a week. And I was really just starting to get engaged with this idea of becoming a social media influencer. And I'd overheard through the grapevine and through one of the networking events I attended that Stefan Aarnio, who I loved his book, Money People Deal, was coming to London, Ontario to give a talk as well as do a book signing. I was like, oh man, this is going to be awesome. I get to meet Stefan Aarnio, and immediately I start thinking, how can I make the most of this opportunity? He lives in Winnipeg. He's not going to come to London, Ontario every weekend. So how can I make sure that I take advantage or make the most of this situation? Well, the first thing I did was started taking a personal inventory. What do I have? What do I have that I potentially could give? And then I started viewing through what does he want or what does he value as well, and started comparing the two. And immediately I realized he's on his own journey to become a social media influencer in the real estate investing space. I checked out his YouTube channel, and he had more followers than me on YouTube, but he wasn't getting more views. In fact, his channel was kind of teetering off and dying. I was like, interesting. I imagine he doesn't like that, but he's probably just distracted with all the other things he does because he writes a lot of books, does coaching, this, that, and the other. And so immediately I was like, okay, well, what if I just made a series of videos talking about how awesome his books were? Because I loved his book to begin with, so it feels true and authentic to my YouTube channel, but also will hopefully provide value to him because I'm literally just going to talk about how awesome his books are. And so I immediately reached out to my buddy, Dylan McLaughlin, who originally introduced me to Stefan Aarnio's books and had read a few more of Stefan's books than myself. And I was just like, hey man, you want to shoot a series of videos just talking about how awesome Stefan Aarnio's books are? And then that way when we go to his book signing and we get a chat with him a little bit, maybe he'll recognize us. Maybe he'll remember us. Like, I'll make sure I tag him on a bunch of social media. We'll release the videos like a week before he comes and really just try and get on his radar. And maybe we can have a bigger conversation than we otherwise would have and really take advantage of this situation. So that's pretty much what we did. We shot a 2-part video series. My buddy Dylan does some flips at the start to try and just make the videos engaging. It's fun to look back on these videos because, I love watching the evolution of what we're doing here, guys, I guess. But those videos were literally just a value add. So all we did was talk about how awesome Stefan was, how awesome his books were, and what the lessons we took away from his books. The goal was provide value to Stefan Aarnio as well as providing value to my audience. So we were just like, let's just make some quick videos, and we literally just walked Western University's campus because, it's got the the big green space and, the really fancy buildings. And we just walked and talked and chatted about our biggest takeaways in regards to Stefan's books. I put them out into the ether, tagged him on every post, tried to share them on every social media platform, and a handful of my fans shared them as well. And that was kind of that. And I didn't really know whether he'd see them or not, but hey, at least I took my shot. I bought my lottery ticket. Fast forward a week or two later, and I'm at that talk, and I purposely sit near the front row, again, just trying to make better eye contact, get more on his radar. And then afterwards, when he was signing the books, I kind of waited till the end because it wasn't a massive group of people. And so I thought, I'll just let them kind of filter through first, and he'll probably have a little bit of time at the end. And that's probably when I'm going to be better able to have a longer conversation with him. So I think I was the second or last person to get a book signed, and there's maybe just half a dozen people kind of crowding the table at this point. I go up, give him my book, and he looks at me and goes down to sign, takes a double look, and he's like, you look familiar. I was like, oh man, yeah, maybe you saw I made a couple of YouTube videos about you where I was just talking about how awesome your books were and what our biggest takeaways were. And he's like, oh yeah, I think I saw those. He's like, man, I need to get back on YouTube. He's like, we've been kind of distracted. He's like, I just need to hire someone full time to do my YouTube. And immediately I saw my opportunity there. I was like, oh man, this is crazy. I was literally going to offer to work for you for free if you would just let me follow you around and make YouTube videos like D-Rock does for Gary Vee. And Stefan, being a no-nonsense businessman, he was really quick and blunt and to the point. He was like, can you move to Winnipeg? I was like, sure. And he was like, how soon can you move? I was like, I don't know, like a week or two? And he was like, okay, let's meet for lunch tomorrow.
Do you want to get control of your financial life? Do you want to crush it in real estate with wholesaling? Do you want to join my full-time team of wholesalers like Mike? Or Shahir? Or what about Tyler? Or Diego? Or what about Amar? Alright, and what do we do, boys?
We make offers, we buy fast, never gonna miss a deal cause we pay cash. Offers, 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 deals, deals, deals. Tell us, Mr. Seller, what price do you feel? Cause we're Southwestern's biggest source of deals. Boom!
So if you guys want to crush it with wholesaling, you need to join my team. And down below, video description, there's all the links you need.
How soon can you move? And I was like, I don't know, like a week or two? And he was like, okay, let's meet for lunch tomorrow. So we maybe interacted for half an hour or 45 minutes at that book signing, and then fast forward to lunch. And again, we maybe spent an hour and a half, 2 hours on the long end at lunch. And there was another person at lunch as well that was there for a different meeting. So I really just kind of hopped in and sat in on a meeting that I wasn't supposed to be there for, but got to talk to Stefan for maybe, 20, 30 minutes total throughout that lunch. And essentially, we just firmed up the details. I agreed that within a week, I would fly out to Winnipeg and start making YouTube videos for Stefan Aarnio. He agreed to let me sleep on his couch so that I could essentially have unfettered access to him. And, the rest is kind of history. I flew out to Winnipeg, lived with Stefan for 3 weeks, made a ton of YouTube videos about him, learned a lot about him, his business and his process, and even his long-term plans and dreams. And it was just like, I have no doubt I wouldn't be sitting here today on this couch in this capacity had I not taken that leap of faith. And that leap of faith was providing value first. Providing real value first, and when the opportunity came, I doubled down and provided more value. There was never an ask. We never discussed salaries, because I knew that if I did a good job, he would want to keep me around. If I tried to become indispensable to him and his organization, there'd be a place for me at the table. So I wasn't going to worry about talking about compensation day one. I was just going to make sure I got myself into the room day one. Fast forward 3 weeks into living with Stefan, and I can remember a very poignant conversation we had where he offered me a full-time job and was promising that I'd earn at least 6 figures a year in regards to helping him build his brand. And I was really conflicted. I came really close to saying yes. I was like, man, this is like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And the big question Stefan really pushed me on is like, what do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Do you really want to be me? Because it takes a long time to do this shit. And I can remember being like, true, like that seems very, very blunt and very honest. And Long story short, I ended up deciding to come back to London, Ontario and starting my own thing. And again, at that point in time, Stefan was living with one of his full-time employees. It wouldn't be that much longer, maybe a year and a half later, that I would start the mansion here. And I would have 4 of my friends, my coworkers, my employees move in with me, and we would really just start creating this environment here in London, Ontario that I don't know if this exists anywhere else. And all that started by providing real value first. And I want to explain to you guys what real value is. Real value isn't, hey, if you agree to a 1-hour coaching call, I'll make a video about you. Real value isn't, hey, I have no idea if you want to get in shape, but I'm the dude to take you there as long as you agree to exchange coaching calls with me about real estate. That's not trying to exchange value first. You're literally being transactional. And I know that that's kind of hard to understand for a lot of people that are new to this concept, but you need to really internalize this. Trust me on it. You need to lead with value first. And when the opportunity comes, you should double down on value. If you're in the marathon game like myself, that's the way to play this. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Lead with value first and double down at every opportunity you get. Become indispensable and everything will work out. Trust me. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Smash the like button if you did. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to my channel. If you guys would like to see the other videos we mentioned about Stefan Aarnio, I'm going to throw up a playlist right here of just the videos I've made about Stefan Aarnio. If you guys would like just more great Canadian real estate content, I'll throw up another playlist right here, and we'll see you guys in the next video.